How's everybody doing? Welcome back to the House of Business Podcast. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. And we're back with another one, man. This is going to be a good one, man. And I just hope that, you guys pay attention to this particular message and this particular episode, as this is very important. I would like to call it energy distribution, but the episode's name is called The Power of Saying No While Less is More. And I always do this, and I don't know why, but let me give you the proper introduction. This is the House of Business Podcast 2.0, a place where we give you the knowledge and tools to execute your dreams and visions. And it's your host, Caleb Thompson. Thank you guys for listening to these episodes. Thank you guys for just all the support, all the subscribers to the channel, all the likes, comments. We really appreciate it here. So thank you guys. Back to the episode. So the episode is called The Power of Saying No While Less is More. I'm going to give you 3 points, and I'm going to give you some sub points to those 3 points. And these are just from my personal experience. Now, this is from personal experience, but this is also from, just taking account of other people's lives and how they, execute time management, within their own lives, and how certain things they do and they don't do based on priority. If it's not really a priority at that moment, you don't want to extend yourself to the point where you're tired trying to do every little thing. You have to find out what's priority in my life. What's the most important? What do I need to do at this current moment? And if I was to do this at this current moment, will it help me in this moment to move things forward? I don't need to do, let's say profit and loss statements until it's, it's getting close to the end of the month or whenever you do them. Some people do them weekly, some people do them bi-weekly, some people do them monthly. I do them monthly, just because there's just so many subsidiaries connected to our holding company. We just do them monthly, just to get a full spectrum within the entire month. But if it's if I get a reminder that needs to be done, before if I get a reminder before the deadline, and I have something else that needs to be done, just say I need to do payroll, instead of do these profit and loss statements, I need to do payroll, and payroll needs to go in before 12 o'clock, but I get this notification about the profit and loss statements needs to be updated and submitted. What am I going to do first? Am I going to try to, since this notification came up, am I just going to try to, tackle the profit and loss statements, and it's way before, or I'm going to stress about it, or try to go ahead and get a head start on the numbers that we have, or am I going to just wait? There is a way that you can project profit and loss statements. You can't get those projections and then later on modify them to the correct numbers, but you can kind of get a projection, a ballpark number based off your past. Based off of your past, costs, your cost of goods sold, based off of your past, some expenses are those are set in stone expenses. I can't think of the name, but those are fixed expenses. What I mean is that you're always going to have the same amount for rent, unless that gets updated. You're going to have the same amount for the internet that's in the building, the same amount for any subscriptions or for software or that you guys use for the company, if that's any account software that you guys use, so whatever it is. So QuickBooks, you have a subscription, membership or whatever, so that never changes. So you need to prioritize that. But number one is preserving your energy, and why saying no while less is more is preserving your energy. You need to preserve your energy. It's basically what we just discussed. We just discussed about energy preservation, or just we just discussed that. Saying no helps avoid burnout by preventing overcommitment. There's been many a times where I had so many offers coming in at the same time, just by the surprise of having so many offers. I was just like, oh yeah, this will be good, that'll be good, and you can overcommit. So you can overcommit. So Preserve your energy. Saying no helps to avoid burnout by preventing overcommitment. Yeah, you do not want to overcommit because it is going to the opposite of, let's say, the flip side of not keeping commitments. It is basically a bad character in business. People, it's hard for people to trust you. I don't care if you executed. If you had 10 commitments, you executed and you did your thing on 8 of them. Those other 2, now you'll be held accountable. Your character is in question with those other 2 commitments that you committed to, and it just depends on the size of the company. It just depends on the person you made those commitments to, and just depends on a lot of different factors. Especially moving forward in your career, moving forward in business, it can ruin your connection with another business owner. It can ruin your connection with another, CEO, with another company, with another vendor, just because you make these commitments and you're not executing on these commitments. I just had a commitment that I had with a company to meet someone who came from Ukraine. They came from Ukraine. They were going to be in New York. We were going to have coffee and sit down. Something happened where we had to reschedule, and then I didn't commit the second time, but that first time, just for them to come so far, they said, "Oh man, Caleb, why didn't you show up?" Well, because there's really no excuse, but something of a higher priority, I had to take care of that had to do with me either making or losing a lot personally. Not personally, because my businesses aren't personal, but I had to take care of that. I didn't have the time to really sit down and chat about any new opportunities, or really just sit down and chat about how someone can convince me to spend money into their company, and there's no mutual benefit. I don't want to sit down, have coffee, pay for the coffee, and then the whole time we're there, you're not seeking to help me. You're seeking to benefit off of me, and that's just what I have to say. You're just seeking to, let's have coffee. We want to sit down and have the coffee. More than likely, I'm going to pay for it because you come from a faraway country. After that, now I'm not saying this is true, but after that, the only thing that you're doing is using me as a target to sell your services. No, there's no mutual benefit. There's nothing like, okay, I'm going to help you. How can you help me? Or let's help each other. Let's collab. This is not a collaboration. This is a sales pitch. So there's a difference between someone trying to target you to sell their services and using coffee as a as a tool to do such. And then there's a difference between someone really truly, they have services to sell and you have services to sell, but how can we collab in a way that we can have a mutual benefit, where I can benefit from having your services and you can benefit from my services as well, and where we can balance the books, and not really just balance the books. I don't mind paying for your services if if there's something that I can do for you that could help you as well. But I don't want to sit down and buy coffee and then at the same time still have to pay for your services, and then after that, that's not what I want to do. I'm looking for collaborations. I'm looking for business partnerships. I'm looking for more than me just spending money. Just because I'm sitting in front of someone that's gorgeous, or just because I'm sitting in front of someone that's that I can talk to, that's highly intelligent. Now you can't talk to everyone when you are a C-suite executive, when you are a businessman or entrepreneur, serial entrepreneur in general. It's not everyone that will get you. No one really gets you unless people that have this, they are like-minded. So, and even some people that are like-minded, that they won't get certain aspects or certain ideas, ideologies that you hold. It just doesn't happen. Okay, so another one, it creates a space for rest, reflection, and meaningful work. So when you say no to some of these commitments and some of these things, it preserves your energy. But by preserving your energy, it creates a space for rest. Man, everyone needs rest, reflection. You need to reflect on, let's say, man, what's going on, what happened the week before, or the week. Now you're at the end of the week. You need to sit back. You need to not just drown yourself in these commitments. Now, let me tell you something. At first, You need to take whatever you can get. You need to uphold all these commitments, and that is just basically helping you to not only collaborate, but potential human capital, to having these connections, networking with people. You need to do this when you first start your business. You have to say yes to everything. Yes, just to show up. Just to show up and see how things are, see how things go. Maybe there's a possibility there, but it's just like making 50 cold calls and only 10 people, go with your service. Only 10 people, like what you have to offer. But that's still an accomplishment. You still showed up. You still made those calls. And you didn't get all 50, but you had a percentage. You still did good for the day, because some people, they accepted your proposal for those services. So that's good. It protects emotional boundaries as well. When someone's pulling you all over the place, or when you allow yourself to be pulled all over the place and be drained, it affects you emotionally. So you have to be careful about that too, to keep your emotions intact. If you can, keep that barrier up on your emotions, it helps you not to be stressed, helps you not to be anxious, helps you not to be worried about certain things that you basically cannot change, or making a commitment and then you really didn't want to make that commitment. Now you're stressed out because now you have to, like they say, boss up. Now you have to, hey, I know I made this commitment. You have to be a man or a woman about it and say, well, I apologize. I know this was very important. I know that we discussed this in detail, and I had all the chance in the world to really say no, but I won't be able to, keep this commitment. Can we reschedule? Or I just want to flat out tell you that I'm not going to be able to utilize your services at this current moment. And there's nothing there they really could say. You can't say, is that okay? Because they're going to say, no, that's not okay. You made up, but they can say all that if they want to, but that's still not going to change the trajectory of your decision. Hopefully, that the trajectory of where your business is going, you don't need the services. There's no use of paying thousands of dollars for services, or hundreds of dollars, or thousands. There's no use of paying this amount of money if it's not going to be helpful to the move forward of your business or the scaling of your company. It's not going to be. It doesn't matter. So, protect your emotional boundaries. Number 2, clarity and honesty in relationships. Now, I kind of just talked about this just a little bit. And once again, if you're just now tuning in, this is the House Business Podcast 2.0. And this episode is called The Power of Saying No While Less is More. And number 1, we just went by. It helps you to preserve your energy. Number 2, clarity and honesty in relationships. A direct no builds trust. People know where you stand. See, when you just say no, people know exactly where you stand. Like I discussed on a prior episode about how we filter certain trends, seasonal promotions, and certain trends. We don't adopt every trend in our business. That's because every trend doesn't align with our core values or our company culture at our business. Just because this is happening and this is hot right now doesn't mean that we have to adopt that trend. It corrupts our company's character in a certain sense. That's not what we stand for. This is not our company values. So in the same way, when you just have a direct no, it helps build trust with people. They know exactly where you stand. They know that there's a line right here, and I can't cross that line. Just a direct no. No is a powerful word. So just a direct no would cancel out a lot of people trying to cross boundaries with you because they know where you stand. Will people still try to push those boundaries? Yes, of course. But what I mean is they will understand with a strong, firm no. They would think twice about it, and that lets people know where you stand. That I was born at night. I wasn't born last night, or just lets people know that I will go this far, but beyond this point, there's no trespassing. Another one is encourages honest communication and healthier boundaries. And we kind of just went over the boundary part, but it encourages honest communication. When people know that you can be bold in your words, they know you can be bold in honesty, and it doesn't. They respect a relationship like that. If I can ask you a question and you can just not flat face, but you could just. I don't know why people say that, but I'm not going to get into the origin of where that came from. But I don't even know. But if you could just boldly look me in the face and tell me no, despite what I want, I shouldn't have any expectations to begin with, but people have an expectation. Some people have worked on their sales pitch all night. Some people have worked on perfecting the executing or the sticking the nail in the coffin when they're about to get the final sale, the closing the deal. And someone just comes and says, no, that, like, man, great job, great presentation, but no. But it encourages honest communication. And it helps people. It helps people to be honest with you as well. Say, man, you know what, man, I really wanted to get this sale, but now they understand it's just not about the sale. It's more about the connecting with the individual, and maybe that individual may be able to connect you with someone or a colleague or a business partner that can use your services. So do not treat every connection as where you can sell your services. Treat every connection as first off, treat it as something that could be a long-lasting relationship that could benefit you both. If that doesn't work, it's just like dating. When you have a different business partner, you go into these meetings, it's just like dating, speed dating. I had 4 meetings in one day. It was like speed dating. Or is this going to work? We're not wasting any time. I'm looking to get married. Now I heard Patrick Bet-David say this as well. I was watching his episode. Like, business partnerships are like marriages. I've always believed that, and I've always told myself that before I even watched that video. But that was a great reminder and a great piece of information to remind you on that. You don't just jump into any business. You don't just jump into any business partnership. And now I've also, millions of dollars. Like, let's say, $100 million, man. A deal that I had with a guy that was from Abu Dhabi, that was from across seas. I'm not going to say the guy's name, but the way that this loan was set up, it was set up to the point that where you have to read the fine print where they would be able to access my account where the money was, and I'm taking a loan from you guys, and I'm just like, if I take a loan from you guys and it goes into my account, we do the international transfer, it goes into my account. The fine print basically said that they will have permission from the bank or the statement that I was supposed to get something, but that it would give them access. It would give them access to temporary access to the account until the 12-month period or the 5-year period. I think we did a large loan for 10 years at 2.5% annual. It was like for 10 to 15 years. I don't know. But the entire time that I was on that loan plan with them guys until I paid them back, they had access to the account. And that's not right. There's still money here, still a little bit there, still a little bit there. I'm just like, no. But I was fairly new in business, just looking to get some money. I had great business ideas. We generated a little bit of revenue that was eligible to get a loan. People see potential in those, the business plan that I sent them, the business tool that I sent them. So it was, it was good at the moment to kind of move forward with that. And I was kind of anxious as well of getting things running, but it didn't work. It didn't work the way I wanted to work. But it encouraged honest communication and healthier boundaries. Honest communication and healthier boundaries. Honest communication and healthier boundaries. I'm going to say that again. It encourages honest communication and healthier boundaries. Or another one, it prevents resentment that builds from saying yes when you mean no. It prevents resentment from it prevents resentment that builds from saying yes and then you really mean no. So you can resent, and people can resent you for that. That's crazy, isn't it? But it's really not crazy because you need to do what you say you're going to do. Walk the walk and talk the talk. So it builds resentment. When someone tells me yes and then 5 minutes before they tell me no, I have to learn how to be adaptable and be flexible. So I'm really not mad because I've mastered that part of having an emotional intelligence where things don't always go the way that you want them to go. Things doesn't always happen the way that you want them to happen, and that's completely fine. So you have to understand that it's not going to happen the way that you want it to happen all the time. It's not going to go the way that you want it to go all the time. So you do have to understand that even if there's a last minute change or a last minute shift or a last minute modification to your schedule, gotta know that things aren't gonna happen the way that you want them to happen all the time. So, but that's completely fine. But you do not have control of the other person's emotions or how the other person views what just happened. You do not have control over that. Now you can try to butter it up and try to reschedule or something like that, but first impressions are everything. There's been times where someone called for a meeting and we were supposed to meet. When I went to meet them, they weren't available. And then the second time we were supposed to meet again, and then I wasn't available. So it wasn't like a a tit for tat. It was just like I had to understand that there was something that may have transpired that where they weren't available for that meeting. And then I was just hoping that they could understand vice versa, that the same thing is possible for the same thing to happen in my life. But I cannot control the way that they feel about what's going on. I cannot control that. But it prevents resentment that builds from from saying yes and you really mean no. Let your yes be yes and your no mean no. That's actually some divine wisdom and knowledge from the Bible. So yes, let your yes be yes and your no be no. Anything of that is of evil. That means it has to do with deception. It has to do with some type of deception, some type of manipulation. If you really mean something, and some people don't really mean that, but you know what I mean. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. If you can't do it, don't do it. If you can do it, that's something that I've learned is very powerful. Do not be over commit yourself to a lot of different tasks and a lot of different means, if you cannot do it. If you just believe you can't do it, not that you can't believe you can't do it, but if your schedule is already packed, don't do it. Just save yourself some time. It creates space for the right opportunities. So by you saying no, it creates space for the right opportunities. It creates space for the right opportunities to happen. Like, if I say no to this and I'm not going to sit down and I'm not going to waste my time for, let's say, sit there and waste time, 5 hours, 3 hours during negotiation. I'm just not going to sit there and waste that time. It basically leaves room for other opportunities for me to get the right meeting. So every no is a yes to something more aligned with your vision and goals. So every no is a yes to where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, and who do you really want to be connected to. Do networking. Even without me networking, some people from other industries, might be a tech industry, they might contact me on behalf of my restaurant company, not on behalf of their company, but to collab with my restaurant company. I'm just like, that doesn't align with where we are right now in the stage that the business is at the moment. So I have to say no. I can't say yes and just waste their time. And if I know exactly what they're trying to do and how they're trying to do it, now if they just say, man, let's have a cup of coffee, let's do the same. No, we can collab. But as far as me just saying yes to things that's not going to help me, it's not aligned with my vision and goals, it's just not going to happen. It frees up time and energy for our priorities that truly matter. Frees up time and energy for our priorities that truly matter. We were just talking about priorities and things that really truly do matter. We just discussed that in the beginning of this podcast, that the things that truly do matter, that are a priority in your life, they need to be taken care of. When you're saying yes to everything, you cannot take care of your priorities. I know some people that says, I've been through this as well. Now listen to me closely. I've known some people that say yes to helping different people, and they're stretched so thin that when it comes time, they need the energy to clean their own house, to design clothing for their own business, to have meetings that will help move their business forward. They don't have the energy. They went and helped this friend. They went and helped this friend. They went and helped their mom, their brother. They're taking care of running errands for everyone in the family, taking care of everyone else, when truly all they have to do is say no. You know what I mean? I want you to understand something. If someone doesn't get you to do something that they need done, or if someone doesn't, if you're not available to help someone get some things done, believe me, they will find another way. So, you don't always have to be available to help run other people's errands and do what they need done. It frees up time and energy for priorities that truly matters. and it helps you stay intentional and focused rather than reactive. So it helps you to stay intentional and focused rather than reactive. So we're going to go over this. We had 3 points. So it helps you stay intentional and focused. Okay. So, and I just want to put this out there, man. Once again, I would like to thank everyone for listening to these episodes. Just learn how to say no. It will save you a lot of time. It'll save you a lot of emotional damage. Don't let anyone pressure you into ways and places and things that do not serve you. Just don't let it happen. Just continue to move forward. Continue to do what you need to do. Continue to do what serves you more than anything else. So this is the House of Business Podcast 2.0. This episode was called The Power of Saying No While Less is More. Number 1 was preserving your energy. Number 2 was clarity and honesty in relationships. Number 3 was it creates space for the right opportunities. I would like to thank you guys for tuning in to this episode. It's your host, Caleb Thompson. We'll be back here Saturday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or maybe a little bit earlier, but I will keep you updated on all social media platforms. I want you guys to go and check out some of our stores. We just opened Ivy Chapter Book and Gift Store, and it's www.ivychapterbookgiftstore.bigcartel.com, which is our primary online location for our e-commerce stores that we are in partnership with. So check out Ivy Book and Gift Store. Also check out Summit Cove Auto Essentials .bigcartel.com, which is for your vehicle. Man, a lot of great things, man, on there, from trays you can eat in the car. It's like a lot of great things, especially for your lunch break. If you're like me and you're always moving and you have a vehicle, you like to eat in the car, they have a cup holder tray that you can set your food there, eat. And no, it's not good to eat and drive. I'm not encouraging that, but it's a lot of cool tech and a lot of cool things that can be useful, that you can utilize while driving. And also, last but not least, check out Thompson Square Gardens Coffee Company. Now, this is a jewel, man. This is a jewel, man. We have some of the greatest coffee products you can think of. We're going to add some more. Now, we do have our top 5 at the store to be Thompson Square Gardens Coffee Company .bigcartel.com. Once again, with that platform, check out that platform as well. And shout out to Big Cartel for just all the help, man, and everything dealing with e-commerce. And they have so many great tools as well, from website design, even to where you can move forward into adding products ahead of time, and then they will launch at a certain period of time. So I want you to know that shout out to BigCartel.com as well, and we're gonna continue to move forward. Check out Thompson Square Gardens Coffee Company, man, amazing company, man. I know you guys are gonna love it. This is great, great company. So we'll be back here. It's the House Business Podcast, man. It's your host Caleb Thompson, man. See you later. Peace.